What it do, what it do, what it do. Man, welcome to another episode of the CM Show. Let me check my audio. This thing is loud. There we go. We are good to go. What's happening, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to another episode, another edition, another whatever you want to call it, but another day of the CM Show as I mess around with my microphone, messing stuff up. Man, is there like a delay? Is there a drag? What the hell's going on? I think I'm using a whole lot of resources today. I like it though. Yeah, looks a little choppy. Anyway, it is what it is. Today, as y'all can see, your boy's wearing pink. I just wanted to say it is October, which means it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I do have a couple loved ones that that are dealing with breast cancer in different ways, different stages, I should say. So I just wanted to, send some love out to them because it is, or to her, well, it's a couple people. Let me say that. So just want to start with that. So to my ladies out there, all my ladies watching, if y'all haven't done so already, make sure that you go get checked out. Go get those, do your own self exams, that kind of thing. But also just go to your doctor to get those mammograms or whatnot. Please, please, please get yourselves checked out. With that out of the way, before we get into it, let's do I guess I need to bring that up. Hold on. So I'm trying something new today, right? Trying something new today, as I always am. Every day I'm trying something different. Every day I am trying, every episode, every show, I should say, I do try to do something a little bit different. But one of the things that I make sure that I do is here we go. I warn y'all, first things first. Yo, this is an adult show and we be talking about some adult stuff, and your boy does have a little bit of a potty mouth, so we be talking about some adult shit. With that being said, even though you see the topic and it looks like it's going to be some biblical stuff, not necessarily the case. So I just want to give everybody fair warning that this is an adults only show and we will be talking about some adults only stuff. And I want to make sure that only adults are watching. So put the kiddies to bed and then y'all join in and give me your feedback. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that. And the next thing I want to do on top of that is I'm going to give a disclaimer. All right. I am not a dating coach. I'm not a relationship coach. I'm not a marriage counselor, because you best believe that your boy's got his own personal stuff going on that he's dealing with as well. So I am not here trying to tell y'all, hell, you need to do this if you want to have a successful marriage. No, because your boy, me and successful marriages just don't seem to get along. So I'm just letting it be known that I am not a relationship coach, not a relationship guru, none of that stuff. I'm just a dude that's learning, that's, trying to take my own advice sometimes. But at the end of the day, we all know right from wrong, and there's certain things that I have encountered over my life that I can say, hey, if you do that, you're going to get the wrong results. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I should have done that if I wanted to get some good results. So just want to let that be known. I am not a relationship coach, and all the advice that we talk about on the show is just based on my life experiences, both good and bad. All right. So tonight's topic is... All right. Well, I swear to God, I got so much stuff going on here. Okay, I could have sworn I put it up somewhere. Anyway, tonight's topic is what we are going to be talking about. If I can get the damn thing right, my bad, y'all. Is unequally yoked. Okay, unequally yoked. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, and obviously, you get it. Oh, first, let me go into the chat and shout my people out. Hey, Lorenzo, what up, bro? Thanks for joining the conversation, sir. Salute. Man, I don't know. I don't think I might need that much security tonight, but I'm glad that you fell through, sir. Thank you for joining the for joining the conversation. I see a couple other people are filtering in. So to everybody joining the chat, tonight's conversation, like I said, is going to be, or is about, being unequally yoked. Now, with that being said and done, I'm gonna jump right into it, and then we'll talk about some stuff on the back end. Why is this stream just lagging? Did you see this? It's like, man, it looks like I'm on the water. All right, fuck it. As long as y'all can hear me. In fact, let me get a sound check. All things Judy TV. I like it. What up? Lorenzo said, you never know. I might need some security at all. After all right. What's going on? Thank you for joining the conversation. I see you, man. All right, let's dive right in. So obviously, the first thing, when people hear that saying, unequally yoked, right? When people hear that, the first thing they think about is the spiritual aspect of it, which is, the biblical verse, I should say. Let me get my notes together. All right, is 2 Corinthians, or as Trump said, 2 Corinthians. But anyway, 2 Corinthians is the verse, right? There we go. So 2 Corinthians, right? Do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Now, if you are a Christian person, speaking specifically about Christianity, not necessarily speaking about, the other major religions or just other religions in general, but when it comes from a spiritual standpoint or Christian standpoint, in this particular case, right? If you are a Christian person and the person and you're involved in a relationship with someone who does not fancy them or who is not, right? So then what you have is a situation where you have a believer being yoked with an unbeliever. And that in and of itself is going to cause issues, because if they're if they're moving along in their walk with Christ and you're not, then obviously you're going to have issues with compatibility. Right. So that's one of the things that you've got to be aware of, when it comes to, are you equally yoked with your partner? All right. Now, also, but there are different aspects of spirituality as well. Of course, it may be a situation where you may be a Buddhist, you may be a Muslim, whatever the case may be, as far as your religious walk, but your spiritual walk as well. If you're someone that believes in astrology, for instance, and you adhere to, certain things like, all right, such and such is in retrograde and therefore it's going to, affect certain things a certain way, but your partner doesn't, then the things that you may be doing, you may be going through, if your partner is not on the same page, if you are not yoked, as it were, then you're going to have issues down the line. Now, patience may come in, that's where your partner's like, hey, you know what? That's what you do, I do me. That's one thing, we're going to get along, but that's what it comes in. Now, another aspect of being unequally yoked is sexuality, or not sexuality, excuse me. You're unequally yoked sexually. All right. Now, y'all know that, if you don't know, I should say, to me, there are three things that are required for there to be a successful relationship. All right. Those things are communication, finances, and of course, sex. Now, I don't care what people say, sex is a very important part, but you know what? Let's talk about, let me kind of jumped ahead of myself. Let's just talk about just compatibility as a whole. All right.
Most frustrating relationships to be in long term are the unequal ones. And we often get into unequal relationships for reasons that we're not even aware of. The most liberating, powerful relationships are the ones in which there's reciprocity. There's an equality in the relationship. Both people bring something to the table.
Oh, I know.
And you know this, right? Back test in your own life. The people you trust the most, the people you love the most, the people you want to be around the most. There is reciprocity in the relationship. There's an equality to how you guys come together. Guess who generally creates more resentment first? The person giving or the person taking? The person taking, because nobody wants to feel like they are not equal. And then the giver is confused. They're like, what the fuck, bro? I've given you everything. Yeah. And now I don't feel like you're equal.
So when we speak about sexual compatibility, let me jump in, right? Like I said, the big three for me are communication, finances, and of course sex. To me, if you are not able to be sexually compatible with your partner, then you are going to have issues. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is going to happen. All right. So, let's do this.
Take out sexual compatibility and emotional compatibility. 3 years down in your relationship, my emotional compatibility isn't being matched to my partner anymore. Do you just say that's okay? People go, no, that's right. Mm-hmm. So why can't sex be seen as
I
just
agree.
as important
Oh,
as
yeah, I agree.
emotional compatibility or like intellectual compatibility. I think people just see it because it's sex. It's like, it's just sex. Get over it. It's like, no. You're just seeing it as like a lower standpoint compared to all the other main pillars of a relationship. It's just as important to be
Because of the
held up at
people
the
have an
same esteem
unhealthy
as the
relationship with sex.
I agree,
Exact,
and
100%. It's just as important. It's a main pillar, like with all the others.
for as much as I am wordy and I'm a writer and I'm quite communicative, a lot of the times in relationships I have problems speaking to my partner. And I've had a psychologist say to me, Jess, fuck, then talk.
I can't hear anything. My bad, y'all. Can't hear a damn thing, and it's annoying because I need to hear this damn show. So hold on. See why the hell this thing is not connected. That's annoying. Oh, the battery's not dead. Anyway, all right. So let's. There we go. All right, battery's full. Okay, so let's talk about sexual. Now, here's the thing: being unequally yoked with your partner sexually doesn't necessarily mean that the actual physical act of sex. We're talking about intimacy as a whole. All right, so let's talk about a couple things where it comes where we're talking about as far as you're unequally yoked with your partner from a sexual and or intimacy aspect, right? A couple things that to me you've got to have in a good, healthy relationship where you and your partner are on the same page is you have to feel comfortable talking to them about sex. And I'm talking about in all ways. All right? And by that, what I mean is, okay, there's certain things you like. There's certain things you don't like. There's certain things you may want to try. There's certain things that, hey, you know what? Yeah, not necessarily. And also you have to be comfortable speaking with them about your past. Now, one of the things that's kind of big these days is people are talking about their body counts. In fact, I did a show on body counts a while back where is it important? Is it not? To a certain extent, it is. However, a grown person in their 40s didn't just wake up and all of a sudden know how to do all these tricks and all kinds of other stuff, right? You got there for a certain reason. Now, I'm not saying that you just go out there and tell your partner every damn thing that you did, but what I am saying is if you should be able to communicate with your partner the things that you have done, and at the same time, you shouldn't, and that leads me into my into the third point, you should trust and respect them enough to where you are able to control your insecurities because your partner had a past. All right. Now, I'm not saying that you're dating a porn star, so you should be cool with everything they did. Everybody's got a line, and if they cross that line, then okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, if your partner is telling you that, hey, I did this in the past, or I've tried that, or I swung from the trees and did a backflip and landed on that thing, then okay, fine. If you have to be comfortable understanding that your partner is an adult and unless they're a virgin at whatever age they are, they've had past partners. All right. Also, by trust, that means that you also are willing to explore new things because you trust your partner enough to not hurt you, to not cross certain boundaries, to not disrespect you after the fact, to not, turn their nose up like, dang, I can't believe you took it. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing, right? So that's where the trust aspect of it comes in as well. Now, as I said, just because sexually means is not necessarily the act of, right? Unequally yoked sexually means that you enjoy kissing each other. There are some people that don't like to be touched. There's some people that don't like to kiss. There's some people that, they don't like that physical contact within certain parameters, right? So then is that something that you are able to deal with? If not, you have an issue where there's an imbalance. And then last but not least, you're able and you're open to feedback, both good and bad. Y'all, like I said, sometimes you have to learn. And in doing that, you may not get it right. So if you and your partner are not are unequally yoked sexually, then you are going to have issues when it comes to, compatibility in that area. What up, Jennifer? Thank you for joining the conversation. Thank you for joining the chat, madam. I went ahead and dropped the Zoom link too. I'm not going to get to it right now, but I just wanted to make sure that I had it done. Thank you for joining the conversation, ma'am. All right, let's get back at it. So what is the next? All right, so I've got two screens popping today. Like I said, trying something different. So next up, children. Y'all, this right here is one of those things where if you enter into a relationship and y'all are on different paths, as it were, when it comes to having children, then that is definitely going to be an issue. Now, y'all know that I do reviews for the TV show Ready to Love, and on the show Ready to Love, right? It was a couple episodes back, and make sure y'all, if you haven't done so, if you haven't subscribed, please definitely do that. But going back a couple episodes back, there's a character on the show named Mike, and he was having another conversation, like not character, but a cast member on the show, and they had this particular conversation.
At this moment, Mike and I are cool, we're cordial, but we haven't really made a connection. So this will be a good time for me to talk to him and see how it unfolds.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What was your perception of me?
That you're a great guy. But what scared me was the divorce and the kids. That's baggage for me.
So, and it probably helps if I could hear what the hell he said, but what the situation that occurred with them in that regard was that, hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't do that. Okay. And it still won't work. Fuck. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to go check on something real quick. Anyway, so what happened in that regard was Mike has children. And for him, being in a relationship with a woman that does not is problematic, right? Or excuse me, the other way around. Mike has children, but Sharice does not. So for her entering into that situation, she has her own feelings on having kids. Now, I do applaud them for having a conversation prior to the fact, but the bottom line is two different people on two different regards when it comes to children is a huge deal. Oh, shit.
Sharice called my kids baggage. I'm like, wow. We 45 years old and still acting like this. Cause you saying kids baggage.
But listen.
If a man said that about a woman,
it's not
he would get
negative.
roasted and toasted.
All I'm saying is that I don't have any kids.
All right, let's go on to the third one.
Why?
Because it wasn't good timing.
That's
I
a
just
red
haven't
flag
been
for
there.
me.
And I respect
At
that.
45?
I'm not upset. I'm 43. I'm not upset about
Why?
that. Can you let me speak? Why are you over talking me? That's my beliefs. That's my core values. I'm just saying I don't want to deal with that.
I definitely understand what Sharice is saying right there, because what she's saying is, look, if you have kids, and I understand that for Mike, it is an issue because he has kids and nobody wants their children to be called baggage. But in the context of what she's saying, she is actually 100% right. And in this regard, right? Not that the kids are baggage, but when you look at it in the context of what she's saying is this. Every time you come to a relationship with a certain situation, whether it's kids, whether it's debt, and we're going to talk about debt as far as finances in a second, whether it's anything that other than a clean slate, then you are bringing your personal baggage into the relationship. The only difference when it comes to children is that they are their own sentient beings and they come with their own stuff. So the bottom line is what Sharice is saying is like, hey, if you have children, if you've been divorced, if you've been all of those things, if you have children, that means that those children have a mother. If you're a man, in this case with Mike and Sharice, that means that those children have a mother. That means that there's another person that can have some kind of influence in our relationship. If the children's mother is already remarried, that's another person that's going to have some kind of influence in our marriage. And and if you have multiple kids with multiple women, it exponentially adds an issue to the relationship. So what Sharice is saying right there,
I want to get married for the first time with someone who's never been married, who's never had a baby. That's all I'm saying.
the bottom line right there with what Sharice is saying is this. She wants to go into a situation to where the man that she's with doesn't have children, just like she doesn't have children. Now, of course, she's in her mid 40s, so of course, having kids may present an issue, may not. But what she's saying is like, look, this is what I am looking for, and that goes back to what we're talking about tonight, which is being unequally yoked. If you know that you want to have kids, for instance, and he doesn't, or if you know that, hey, the man he. Speaking for Sharice, I should say, where she knows, okay, the man that I get with or build a relationship with, ultimately marry, I don't want that person to have kids. All of those things go back into the very main thing that I spoke about earlier, which is communication, right? One of the main keys to get around being unequally yoked with someone is to communicate with that person early and often before you even get into a situation with them. All right. So it's not necessarily about, changing your mind per se. It's really and truly about communicating early so that way you know what the issues may be. You know that, hey, you know what? We're not on the same page. We're not necessarily compatible about spirituality, or we're not compatible spiritually. We're not compatible sexually. We may not be compatible as far as children. And of course, we may not be compatible when it comes to our ambitions. Now, ambitions, as it comes up, this is a situation that has happened, especially as more people have access to college, more people, but as far as men and women in that dynamic, because you hear the songs, they come up, all right, I don't want no scrub, and, I'm independent, and the list goes on and on. So it's a matter of, okay, dude, are you laying on the couch as a man while your woman's getting up there and working? So that kind of thing. What are your ambitions? What are your plans? I'm a firm believer that if a man doesn't have a plan as far as what he's going to do with his life, and his woman is out there getting it, y'all are unequally yoked, and you're going to have problems. There's no way around it. If you cannot have one person who is, out there getting it, and the other person doesn't, if you don't have an agreement up front that, hey, I'm going to get it, you stay back and take care of the house. But if both parties are like, hey, we're both going to get out there and get it, then we have to be on the same page when it comes to that. All right. Next up, like I said, sex, communication, and of course, finances. All right. Finances is a huge, is actually the reason why most relationships actually come to an end, is because of the finances.
Like in a partner from the perspective of a divorce attorney. Number one is a willful lack of employment. When I mean willful, I mean they literally don't have a job because they don't want one. And when there's a lack of income and a lack of funds. Majority of divorces that are filed, including legal separations, is because there is money problems. And one of the biggest money problems is a lack of an income or no income. I know that society and social media like to romanticize what relationships are supposed to be by saying that love will save them, but that's not true. Real world problems hit hard in serious relationships. And one of the biggest real world responsibilities is paying your bills and your expenses. And if you can't pay your bills or your expenses, you're going to end up having serious issues with your partner.
Y'all, more money, more problems. But if you have no money, you damn sure going to have problems. And if you and your partner aren't on the same page when it comes to the financial aspect, the finances, the money, who's making what, as far as like, okay, are we going to be spending 50-50 as far as bills goes? Who's going to be taking care of the bills? Who's going to be taking care of all aspects of running the business of the household, running the business of the relationship. If you and your partner aren't running things in tandem, you're going to have issues, right? And also, who's the breadwinner? Now, again, when you have money is power, so therefore, who's controlling the power dynamic that is the money? Now, of course, just because one person earns the money, that doesn't mean that they're in control and their way goes. No, that's some bullshit. I'm not saying that. However, you do have situations where, okay, if I'm out there working, then are you managing the other aspects of the house? In other words, if I'm bringing $20 in, are you spending 30? That kind of thing, right? So if y'all are not on the same page when it comes to the finances, when it comes to the money, when it comes to making sure that the credit is going right, all of the things that makes up finances, if you are unequally yoked in that regard, the relationship, it's a wrap. It's done. It's over. Most relationships end because of finances, because of the money, because both parties are not on the same page. Now, let's talk about being unequally yoked when it comes to distance. Now, I'm not necessarily speaking of as far as long distance relationships, even though that may be what it sounds like. But no, if you have a situation where you are a person that travels for your job, you may be a truck driver, you may be a pilot, you may be a person that, does remote IT work, for instance. You may go to a client that's in, like, I'm in Atlanta, so you may fly your ass up to, I don't know, Wisconsin somewhere, who knows, right? But if you and your partner are used to the dynamic of you traveling and then another person stays home, that could present itself, because if you need to be with someone that you need them there with you, you need to touch them, you need to hold them, you need to be able to speak, that kind of thing. If you know that you're dating or getting involved with somebody that travels for a living and that's problematic, again, that's where the communication aspect comes in. All right. A lot of people, a lot of times we say, okay, I can deal with it, but no, those are issues that some people don't even think about. It's like, all right, they drive trucks. All right, he flies planes. All right, whatever. No, if you know that you need someone close, that is a huge issue when it comes to being unequally yoked. It's something, and now keep in mind, I used to drive trucks for a living, so I know this. All right, I've been through this. It is not as easy as people think that it is. Last but not least, let's talk about backgrounds. Y'all, lately, what's the name of that show? Back in the day with Whitley Gilbert, Dwayne Wayne. That's starting. I think that's because, that's what it was. They were on the Breakfast Club a couple weeks ago. What's her name? Oh my goodness, cannot remember that actress's name. And Kadeem Hardison, and I cannot remember. If y'all tell me in the chat, what's the name of the actress that played Whitley Gilbert? I think she was married to old boy to Jason Momoa. Anyway, on that show, you had two people from two different backgrounds. You had old boy from Brooklyn, the Dwayne Wade character, and then you had Whitley Gilbert from the southern. The southern Miss Whitley from Virginia. Two different people, two different backgrounds. A lot of people don't realize it, but your background plays a huge part, obviously, in who you are today. So if you have two people from two different backgrounds, Jasmine Guy, thank you, Lorenzo, Jasmine Guy. So if you have two different people from, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I don't know. I was thinking Lisa Bonet for some reason. Anyway, when you have two different people from two different backgrounds, right? Or something as simple as, no doubt, when you have a different, what did I say? I didn't say a different world. What show did I say? I don't think I did I? I think I'm going crazy. And it is a different, what the hell show did I just say? Anyway, when you, thank you, Shane. Man, oh man, I'm like, ooh, I appreciate y'all saving your boy in the chat. Thank you. Anyway, let me try to get back on task. All right, on topic. So if you have two people from two different backgrounds, and also two different cultures. Like me, I'm Jamaican, so I've been here long enough, so I've picked up the American culture. But if you had somebody fresh off the damn boat, yeah, she is. If you have somebody, fresh off the boat, or then they're used to the Jamaican culture or just any other culture. If they come into the American culture, and then more specifically, it's one thing for a person to come from Jamaica to New York, where they're more where there's an established Jamaican subculture, right? But like for me, I came from Jamaica down and lived in Albany, Georgia. I think the amount of Jamaicans may have been like 2, and that were my parents. So it's like, yo, it's a whole different thing. So when you get into a different culture, and then like we spoke about earlier, when it comes to the spiritual aspect of it, you may have 2 people from 2 different religions. If I'm a Christian and you're a Muslim, then okay, there are going to be conflicts there, you know. So your background does definitely play a part in it. Now, something else that's popping off right now, well, not right now, but it's more so is race. You can come from 2 different racial backgrounds where, all right, I'm obviously a nice chocolatey black dude, but if I start dating a white woman, a Hispanic woman, you know, Asian woman, then we're going to have 2 different cultural approaches to things, right? All right, and then we're going to talk about family interference when it comes to those things as well. Oh, I'm about to get you, ma'am. All right, now, I didn't put it on here, but we're going to talk about, there's one last thing, too, that actually does play a part in being unequally yoked, and that is when politics, all right? Politics, quiet as it's kept, does play a huge role in relationships.
So you broke up with someone for who they supported in politics? Yeah.
You think you funny, huh? That's
Yeah.
why you're married so many times. You mother.
That's the way it works. Why would you want to date somebody or be married to somebody that has completely opposite views than you? The whole point of being in a relationship is to build together towards the future, right? And if you have somebody that doesn't believe in the same things you do, how do you build that future together? But I'm going to go one step further, because I noticed in one of your posts it says that you love Jesus, right? And Jesus, and the Bible says, do not be unequally yoked with non-believers, right? So I would not date somebody that doesn't believe in the same moral things that I do to move forward in a relationship. Therefore, it is not shallow. It's just finding somebody that lines up with my same beliefs so we can move forward.
Shanna, is it Shanna or Shayna? I don't think I appreciate that comment, ma'am. So that's why you've been married so many times. That is hurtful. That is very hurtful. And it's not just because I'm Jamaican. No, it's because your boy done made some mistakes in his life. I'm not going to sit here and be roasted on my own show. Oh, man, I dislike y'all a lot. Oh, y'all ain't no love, no support. Y'all just gonna roast your boy. All right, whatever. Okay, so just to recap. Oh, man. Oh, I can't stand people. All right, let's just to recap, right? So how are a couple different ways? How many times was it? Wait a minute, Pam. Let me recap, and then and you know what? Let's have the conversation. Let me recap. All right. How are the different ways that people can be Shayna. Okay. All right. Thank you. And she spelled it all phonetically. This motherfucker said 10. Anyway, the many different times that I've been married, right? Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Let me rewind. First of all, this chat's been dry as shit up to this point, right? Y'all ain't said nothing. Y'all just been listening. But all of a sudden, when it comes to that, y'all want to start roasting your boy. Okay. Oh, you know what, Lorenzo? You right. Y'all, I hate black people sometimes. Whew. All right. Let's go. Now, what are a couple different ways that you could be unequally yoked with your partner? All right, let's talk about spiritually, sexually, when it comes to children, the ambitions of you and or your partner, obviously finances, because that's a big one, right? Shit, I need to add sense of humor. Shit. Anyway, The distance between you and your partner, okay? And of course, the background, your background compared to your partner's. Oh my God, I cannot stand y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't like y'all tonight. All right, I'm gonna go back. We're gonna talk about this, yo, okay? So Shayna's like, oh, that's why you've been married so many times. All right, how do I block Shayna? Because I don't like her. Let's see. Pam, so how many times was it? You know what, Pam? You know what? This motherfucker here said 10. 10. And then Kashaka, she's been just quiet all of a sudden. She wants to hop in and be like, okay. Oh, man. All right. How many times have I been married? Okay, that is a great question. And the answer to that question is 3. Like your boy Count says, 1, 2, 3. I have been married 3 times. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to what to do, what not to do in a marriage. So that is the answer to that question. I've been married 3 times. Oh, you just want to make sure I got it right. Okay. The hell, that is just wrong. Oh my goodness. All right, I just dropped the link. she said she just want to make sure I got it right. What the hell ever. Okay. So I just dropped the Zoom link. Whoa. You know what? I always do this. Let me make sure that the damn thing is connected. Probably help if I turned it on. While I get that set up, how to survive a divorce. I gotta. You know what? I just dropped the. What up, Cheryl? Thank you for joining the conversation. I just dropped the Zoom link. Why the hell is this thing not working? That is so weird to me. All right, so I just dropped the Zoom link. If you have any questions, if you want to talk to me directly, you can. The only thing I ask when it comes to the Zoom chat, all right, please make sure that your audio is connected and make sure your microphone, excuse me, not your microphone, but your camera is connected as well. Do dating after divorce. Actually, I will. To the person that just texted me, what do you mean? Do dating after divorce. Yeah, I think I definitely will do that. That is actually a good topic. Just not right now. So let's see how to survive a divorce. I'll answer that question, then I'm gonna move on real quick. What up, Cheryl? Thank you for joining the conversation. Save your boy, because they all over me tonight. Do dating after divorce. Okay, I'll answer that. I'll try to answer that question the best way I can. Communication goes a long way. That's the best way I can put it. Just make sure you communicate. Try to keep it, about as far as being, just keep contentious things down to a minimum. That's the best way I can do it. All right, let's move on. All right. One of the things that one of the reasons why I do my show, one of the reasons why I write my books, one of the reasons why I do everything that I do is because I love, right? And what the reason why this particular topic that we're having it tonight as well is because before you even get to the point about the end, let's talk about the even before things begin, meaning those conversations, right? So part of that is, okay, knowing that, okay, I don't eat pork, for instance. But the person that interested in pursuing something with, they do. So now, okay, we know that like Cheryl said right here, opposites do attract. It keeps it interesting and learning new things. However, okay, I learned that, hey, you like pork, you like bacon in the morning. I don't. Is that something that is a deal breaker? Is it really a red flag? Is it a pet peeve? Whatever the case may be, is it that serious? You know what I'm saying? Is it something that we can work through? And that's what it means when we talk about being unequally yoked. There are levels to this. Like, something as simple as, okay, we're opposite. You like blue, I like green, and I do like green, by the way. It's just a beautiful color. I'm an Aries. That means I'm the greatest. You're whatever other signs there are. It is. We are opposite. So there's certain things that, okay, I know that I like certain things. I know that I prefer things to be a certain way. I know that I prefer certain kind of people. All of the things that go into that hold on. Connect your camera, please, madam. Okay, I see you connecting. So I know that there's certain things that are important to me, and that's why when we have that conversation, we then understand that, okay, you know what, this is important to that person as well. All right. I don't know why I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I am. Turn your camera on for me. Well, you know what? It's just no. Damn, that's all right. Let me bring you in to the conversation. Say something for me. Oh, okay, that's not good. Hold on one second. All right, give me a check one more time. Oh. All right, hold on one second. Low system sources. All right. Are you there?
Uh-huh.
All right, there we go. Let me make sure we're connected. So, hold on. All right. Are you there?
Yeah, but you sound far away. Oh, there you go.
Okay, cool. So, tonight's topic is tonight's conversation. We're talking about being unequally yoked. Welcome to the show. What do you have to add? Wait a minute. A Jamaican Aries. Wait, you know what?
Mm-mm.
They being real ruthless in the chat to me. I talked. It's just not nice. She said a Jamaican Aries. I am logging off. You know what? Just wrong. Anyway, go ahead. What you got? What you got on tonight's topic?
Well, I really liked the clip that you showed about the girl saying that she didn't want to enter into a relationship with kids. That's really a difficult topic. I really think that people are usually pretty sensitive when it comes to the subject of kids. Yeah. But I can always appreciate the honesty of somebody saying that I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that has kids. I wouldn't want somebody to be in a relationship with me and they don't have kids, because then they might treat the kids bad or not treat them any way at all, which would have a negative impact on the children. That's number one. And there's nothing wrong with an adult being able to effectively communicate what it is that he or she is willing or is not willing to bring into a person's life, into their life. And accepting somebody's child, it's not just playing with them, it's not just games. You are saying that I agree to accept responsibility for this human being that is not mine. I agree to help raise you. If you're a good person, if you're a good partner, you're not just going to have the kid around you and you're not involved in the raising in some shape or form, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you enter a relationship, that's a big responsibility. And so people have to be willing to understand that if that's not a responsibility that somebody is willing to take on, that's okay.
That right there, man, is so true, because I don't think a lot of people actually do realize that you're being there to help raise somebody else's child. It's not, being a step parent is not an easy job. It is not an easy job. I've done it a couple times, right? Because because you boys have anyway. So it's having those conversations early and having those conversations often, but also it's a difficult conversation to have. And it's like you said, it's not just a matter of, all right, I'm gonna teach them how to ride a bike. It's
Right.
or I'm gonna take them to go get ice cream. You know what I'm saying? You have got to have deep conversations, because if you plan on being in that person, in that child's life, or if they have multiple, in those children's lives, you have got to have conversations as far as, look, I'm gonna be there. What does a step parent look like to you? How do you feel about me disciplining the children? All of those things. You've got to have those tough conversations, and it's difficult it's a difficult thing.
Or you might not even want to do any of that. And that's okay too. You might not want to financially support a child. You might not want to emotionally support a child. Everybody is not meant to be a parent. Everybody doesn't have that nurturing, ability. And the maturity comes in when you can have that conversation and you can walk away from it and with acceptance and no hard feelings, after it. It's me choosing, or the person, whoever it is, making a choice with what that person wants for his or her life.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though, because I appreciate the fact that particular clip resonated with you. What about conversations with the other parent? You're a woman, so I'm gonna make the assumption that you're dating another man. But what about you dating what about the previous, not the previous, but the other parent? How do you approach that, or how would you approach that if you've had have had to do that before?
I have been in a situation where I've had interaction with the other parent. And for me, I always make it very clear from the beginning that there's already two parents involved. I'm not here to be a third parent. Gotcha. I'm here to support. I'm here to financially support when it's time. I'm here to emotionally support when it's time, but I'm not trying to step in and be the mom. And so, just like I said, it depends on the maturity of everybody. In my situation, or my old situation, both of the parents were mature. We were all able to get along and communicate. I wasn't part of the decision-making process, because that's what the parents were there for. I was part of the decision-making process when the kids were there, with me and my boyfriend, at that time. I might have some input, but I respected the relationships with the mothers and the fathers and the kids, and they respected my place, with my boyfriend at the time, and it worked out well. But I've also been in a situation where I've been with somebody where he had 4 kids, and we were not on the same parenting page. Yeah, we did not agree with how we should discipline the kids. We did not agree with the things that should be taught, the things that we should do with the kids. We were not in agreement with a lot of stuff. And so it became extremely problematic in the relationship, to the point where that was the sole reason why we broke up. Was because of the kids.
That right there is that's exactly why, this topic right here, because it's like, if you're not on the same page, and in the chat, Brunch Hunch Adventures, he's like, maturity is definitely important. But if you're not on the same page when it comes to all of these things, it's not just a matter of, okay, ooh, you cute, ooh, you're attractive, you got the tingly parts all popping, so it's like, yeah, we can make this thing work. It's a hell of a lot more than that, man. It's especially, when you're older, and as we're talking about with mature relationships, if you're not able to have these tough conversations, or if we're not on the same page when it comes to important things, like you said, when it comes to children, when it comes to the finances, when it comes to all of the things that go into a healthy, mature relationship, it's destined to fail. It is doomed to fail.
Yep, it sure is.
Oh. Man, I appreciate you calling in tonight, man. Thank you. I message received as well. I appreciate that too. So thank you, ma'am. You have a good night. Thank you.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
All right, bye. Yo, That's good stuff right there, y'all. That is very good stuff. I'm gonna go back a little bit to something that Brunch Hunt. I don't know why I keep calling it Brunch Hunch. Brunch Hunt Adventure said, and that is maturity is important throughout every when you get into a relationship and you're over 30s and your 40s, that kind of thing, 50s, whatever. Maturity is key because a lot of times, man, you may be a certain age, but you're acting another. Just because you're in your 30s or 40s, but if you're acting like a damn teenager, for instance, then you're gonna that in and of itself is an aspect of inequality and being unequally yoked. That right there. Oh, let me switch this thing on out. There we go. So that is key. What he just said right there is 100% right. Being unequally yoked like that, man. You best believe it makes a huge difference. A huge difference. All right, let me go to the chat and see what else. Let me drop this link one more time. Again, y'all, make sure that you have your mic, your audio connected. Make sure that your mic is and your camera's on as well. All right. Let's see. Pam with the bad hair. That's what I'm talking about. I think I need to give my hair a chance too. I got bad hair too. Anyway, Pam says the child's age matters too. I will not attempt to discipline. That's a good point. You got a grown ass teenager and you're over there trying, yeah, I shit, that is true. Cheryl said, I don't know why my nose is so itchy. Cheryl said, if there are questions in the beginning and those questions are ignored or never asked, problems are inevitable. Yes. And what you just said are never asked as well. That is the key. It's one thing, if you say it, but it's another thing. The chair analogy. Refresh my memory about the chair analogy, and then I'll go back. If there are questions, the key to that is, and when it comes to all of these things, that's where communication comes in, because if you are not, if you're not able to properly communicate the issues that you have, or properly or hear what your partner is trying to communicate with you, you're going to have issues, and that's where the finances come in. If you're not able to communicate when it comes to the money, you're going to have issues. If you're not able to communicate when it comes to sex, what you like, what you don't like, what you desire, you're going to have issues. And like we were just talking about, when it comes to, when it comes to children and raising the children, you're going to have some really serious issues as well. Now, what Cheryl is talking about right there, right, is this. That diagram that I just had, this one right here, where we're talking about communication, finances, and sex. The way I used to explain it was this. Instead of, imagine, if you will, a chair, but more accurately, a stool, specifically a 3-legged stool, right? And on that stool, the legs of the stool, those 3 legs are comprised of communication, finances, and sex. So that 3-legged stool is supported by 3 legs. The base of the stool, the part where you put your butt, the part where you plant your ass, right? That is trust. And the reason why it is trust is because this: sex, communication, finances, those 3 legs. If any one of those legs is uneven, if any one of those legs wobbles, you don't trust your partner. You cannot trust them, because communication is not necessarily about you talking back and forth. Communication is you're able to not just talk to your partner in a way that they understand, but you're able to listen to your partner in order to gain, to hear not the words that they're saying, but also what they're trying to impart to you, right? Because a lot of times we may say something, but it actually has a deeper meaning to it. Finances is not necessarily just about money. Okay. Finances is not just about, okay, how much money you got. No, instead, finance is actually, to me, more about trust. If I work 40 hours in a week, I bust my ass, I get out there and I, do everything that I do. I slay 10 dragons and I get $1 per dragon. So I'm going to bring home $10 for the day. If I bring that money home, right, it takes me an hour to slay a dragon. So I've spent 10 hours of my life to earn that money. If I bring it home, I'm trusting that you will do the right thing with the 10 hours of my life that I'm giving you. All right. I've exchanged 10 hours or 40 hours in a week. I've exchanged 40 hours for X amount of dollars. I can't get it back. I'm trusting that the time that I gave in earning whatever money I have is going to be wisely spent, wisely done, wisely put towards the betterment of our house, our future, our family. And last but not least, sex is not necessarily just, the act of. It's intimacy. It's a connection between you and your partner. So again, if you imagine that three-legged stool, and I wish I had an image of that, right? Of that old analogy that I had. If you and your partner are not able to properly communicate when it comes to sex, or let me not say communicate. If you and your partner are not able to be intimate with each other, hold on, I'm gonna find that damn thing. I know I got it around here somewhere. If you and your partner are not on the same page, all right, when it comes to sex, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to all of those things, then you are going to have problems. No matter how much you try to fight it, you are going to have problems. So that's where the chair analogy of sex communication comes in. Phone's dying. All right. So Cheryl says, trust is a firm belief in the reliable truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. You know what? Yeah, man. A lot of men, especially, me coming up, is really about, we always used to say, there are two things that I have is my balls and my word, right? In other words, what I say is what I mean, and I'm not going to break them for anybody. I'm not going to break my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be somewhere. If I can't do it, if I said I can't do it, damn it, I can't do it. That's my word. Brunch Hunt Adventure says, great analogy with the stool. Communication is the ability to listen to understand, not listen to respond. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I will say this. That's something that I have had to put in a lot of work on to understand that ability, because I know that there are a lot of times, when things can turn into a debate, they can turn into, where you're not listening to your partner. And if you're not listening to your partner, then they're trying to tell you how they feel. They're trying to let you know that, hey, this is affecting me in this way. This is something I don't like. I do like this. I need more of that. And if you're not able to communicate those things to your partner, you're going to have issues. Like Cheryl said, her word is her bond. Man, for sure. That's the same way. That's the same way I move. I know, we're all works in progress. God ain't finished with me yet. And speaking of finishing, we're going to wrap this show up. Y'all, this has been fun. Well, outside of the abuse, outside of the abuse, this has been a very fun show. I want to say thank y'all for joining me. Let me do some house cleaning stuff, and then we're going to call this one done. We're going to call this one a wrap. Again, you see I'm wearing that pink today, and last week? Yeah, last week I went to the doctor, and the good thing is, I wasn't invaded. My nether regions were not invaded. I don't know why that dude was just sitting in the corner watching though, but anyway, me and my doctor, we had a good conversation, and I was, got tested, got the blood work, whatever. But October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So like I said, I do have a couple friends, one friend in particular, I know that she is a survivor, but she's definitely, getting checked out as well. And when I tell you she went through it, I have another family, a loved one who is, dealing with breast cancer as well. And I got other people that are in different stages of, it's tough. That's all I can say. Y'all, ladies, if you haven't already done so, please go holler at your doctor and go get a mammogram. Make sure you do those those, they call them joints where y'all check them things. I mean, you know, I was joking the other day. I was like, hey, I ain't a doctor, but I'll take a look. So if you want to send me pictures, I'll take a look at them and, you know, I'll let you. But no, seriously, y'all, please, 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 please. Why is this on here? Y'all, please make sure that you get yourselves checked, please. All right. Here we go. Y'all know I am an author. So if you haven't already done so, please support your boy and get my books. The links are in the description section below. So, you know, definitely pick up a copy of my book. Next week, there we go. That's the wrong one. Next week's show, we're going to be talking about social media. We're on social media right now. So what that means, all right, how does social media affect your relationship? We're going to be talking about all of that next week, right? There are a lot of things that social media is good. However, it can cause problems in your relationship. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Okay, how has social media affected your relationship, both good and bad? I definitely want to hear that. So we're going to be talking about that next week, where the topic is going to be social media. Y'all, I definitely appreciate y'all coming through tonight. I definitely had fun with this one. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good week. And again, ladies, please take care of yourselves. Get that checked out, please. And thank you. Y'all have a good... Damn, today's Tuesday. Wow. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Y'all stay determined.